Hi everybody, really nice to be able to talk to you. Just want to share my thought with you this week. On Sunday, as I was preaching from 2 Titus, I just kind of, in a moment of inspiration, I pray, mentioned and said that, we may feel ourselves in this social isolation, but that doesn't mean that we need to be in spiritual isolation. And at the time, I didn't unpack that, and I have put my thought into the newsletter for this week around that. But as I'm trying to do over these weeks at the moment, just expand that through this medium on YouTube. What does it mean to be socially distanced? Well, the reality of that is clear for us to see over these last few weeks and months as we've come to understand and I guess to some level accept that the nearest we're supposed to get is 2 meters. Now, if you're a member of our church, I think you would probably describe our church as quite a huggy, kind of interactive, kind of caring, loving, and affectionate church. And so actually the thought of being socially distant with someone is actually quite hard for us to take. Now that spills out into church, but that also spills out into community. And maybe we're just not aware of it. We've got so used to it, it's just become that new normal that people keep talking about. But that doesn't make it easy, and it certainly doesn't make it good. Because social interaction and actually being close to someone physically, in being able to hold a conversation with them, to look into their eyes, to see their body language, to hear the tone of their voice that isn't behind a mask, all that stuff we've really valued unknowingly for so long. And it's an important part of communication, but it's a really important part, I sense, of relationships, and particularly good, deep, meaningful relationships. However, we have a God who is in permanent relationship with us. He is certainly not spiritually distanced from us. But there is a challenge I think, for us as Christians at this point. Is that, yes, we've got used to the restrictions, we've got used to social distancing, we're wearing masks because we want to protect ourselves and we want to protect other people. And all these measures are right and good to deal with a pandemic. However, for us as Christians, as we seek to be closer to God, there is a danger where our faith becomes a bit kind of 2 meters away. Yet the God we have is so present in all we do. He never distances himself from me and from you. He is omnipotent. He is omnipresent. He is beyond time and in time itself. He has not stopped doing what God is best at doing, and that is exuding his grace, his love, and his hope into our world. We may have to keep our distance from one another, but I urge us at this point to not distance ourselves from God, because God is close to us, and the danger is we isolate, we stop coming together to worship. We then get out of the habit of what worship is. We get out of the habit of praying and having this faith prayer of ourselves for God and with God. We get out of the habit of trusting him in all things because we've kept him at arm's length. We've kept him at this kind of metaphorical 2 meters, if you will. But, as I've said, God is not distant from us. God doesn't put his hands up and say, well, no, I'm not going to get near you guys because you've really messed up. You should have known better. You failed. You have sin in your life. You've upset this person. You've displayed lack of self-control here. Your greed, your pride, your envy, all this stuff is taken over your life and your world. He doesn't keep distant from that. He's involved right in the heart of that, seeking to bring hope and justice and goodness and righteousness and mercy and life itself too. God is in the heart of what's going on at the moment. And I just pray that as we move into this next phase of our circumstances within our country, that we allow God into those, into our own lives, and into the people and the church and the communities around us. We may be distant from one another for very good reasons, but let me encourage you once more. God is not distant from you. God doesn't keep his distance from your circumstances. He is faithful. He is here. He is ever present. And allow your lives to speak of that, both back to your Father, our God, and to one another, your family of Christ. Amen.